Welcome back to A Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Howdy folks, Windy City Phaeton Watch. I think I made a big mistake. I scheduled this for 12:10, but naturally I actually wanted to go live at 11:10. So I think we'll be in trouble for people to come in. So hopefully you can hear me clearly. Oh, just saw a couple of Scientologists walk by at the bottom of Polk Street. Yeah, one of them Sakala. Let me turn this around real quick. Hey, Sally. So you can see we're outside of, we're on Dearborn, outside of Flaco's Tacos. And one of the Sakala boys is heading in. And then and yet another Scientologist here, the Asian female there. Boy, that black suit has got to be worn today. Howdy, Susan. Thank you so much. And Wendy or Windy, I understand them both. Yes, you're right. I was doing East Coast time. Thank you, Luluman. So hopefully last night I had what I thought was a really enjoyable interview with David Knoll. And I watch him through his dealing site. He's a instructor, well, he's the owner of a company that's, as you mentioned, trade school, that they teach people how to deal casino games. And that's a $50,000 to $100,000 job within the first year, usually. So that's a huge step up for somebody who maybe doesn't have a college education or something of that nature. But the reason that I thought it was important to have that interview with David was that we always hear about the second gens and the born-ins, and we always say, oh, this place is so culty. How in the world would anybody ever, another Scientologist coming down the street, how in the world would anybody ever join that? And it does happen. Now that one didn't have zombie eyes, right? I mean, pleasant enough smile. I understand, Susan. There's a couple of spell checks that I really hate, or autocorrects that I really hate when it happens. But I can't turn it off because there's too many times that it does actually help me out. It helps me more than it hurts me. So we're at Polk and Clark at the bottom of the street. Folks, we have new merch. I really love the mugs, the squirrel mugs. This is my SPTV mug. And it's got the squirrel drinking coffee. And we've got one with the Yawn Tech. And a couple of shirts with Yawn Tech on them. And I'm playing around with logos still. So if you get a chance to look at those are also another fun way to support the channel. Give me ideas too, right? For those of you on the replay, please make sure that you're liking, subscribe if you haven't. If you're live, the like always helps broadcast out that we're here. It's a warm day here. So the folks that are in their all blacks or their navy blues, I think they're going to melt if they're outside today. Yeah, I think if you go to the channel page, you get just after the community tab is a shop tab. I don't know how this stuff all works, but and there's a couple of t-shirts. One of them is, I like the one that's got the hand on the front that says stop, the stop hand, and then on the back is Stop Scientology Recruiting. That one I do have on order. The blinds are up, so we'll be able to get the shades pulled down, I hope. So this is interesting. And by the way, there's a big semi-truck behind me, so you might be hearing that. You notice that these still have shrink wrap on them. I'll say, I never noticed the shrink wrap before, but they're also paperback. Two helicopters just went over the top as well. They still haven't cleaned the window too much. You've got the bird droppings there. Seeing more languages on here. You guys actually might be able to see right now because it's overcast. So the two people at the admin desk haven't really taken notice of me yet. So I think that's Anastasia. She's working busily on her computer. There's a manual on the desk there. I would have zero understanding of what that manual might be. Oh yeah, I need to put the shop on Linktree as well. We've got two Scientologists coming up the street. One of them is Izzy. Izzy is one of the college recruiters. So she's a Columbia student and a Scientologist. Right. Anything positive to say about the church? Yeah, I know. I'm surprised they haven't brought the shades down as well. Oh, they're walking by. Thank you, Sally. I appreciate that. Dave's a really great guy. And again, just some of the most amazing stories. And now that I've been doxxed, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about my history. She's biting her lips so she won't yawn. The other two women, they went into the subway up the street. And again, I'm not, those businesses have to make money, and if they want to take money from a Scientologist, I have no issue with that. I don't think that's supporting Scientology. I think that's being a prudent business person. Paisans, on the other hand, they have a different relationship. So it's not only that that they're paying for their food and lunch at the Paisans, they're also allowing them to use their restaurant as a pass-through to the alley when people don't want to be walking past the protesters. On Monday, I think it was, maybe it was on Tuesday, we saw that the strike was out here picketing Imprint, but I'm sure that was a labor dispute with some work that was going on. Many of these buildings are, Chicago is a union town. Many of these buildings are union doormen, union maintenance people. So I do have the body camera on today as well. And I'm going to remember to wear that all the way until I get home. We missed a great opportunity this past week. I'm going to walk around back now that I've got the shades down. And usually it's not really busy here until the 12 o'clock hour. They might be shifting it around though, right? That, hey, go on lunch at 11 instead of going on at 12, just to kind of stay out of the, out of my range. What was I saying? Anyhow, we're going to go around back real quick. Really interested by the person who is in the anti-human trafficking that was on Natalie this morning. I want to read more on that with Serge the breaking news basically on that story. Oh, the idea that I'm not positive that I'm that much of a force that they're changing their schedules, but I'll say it's very suspect that I'll see a high influx of people here in the 12 o'clock hour on one day, and then today, right? We've already seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've already seen 5 people on the streets in uniform around the org, and it's the 11 o'clock hour. So are they trying to mix that up to make sure that they can get in and out of the org without having to pass by education, protests, so on and so forth? Yeah, Nancy is really, that channel is invaluable to be able to see all the things that happen, because as we're finding out, what are we up to? 119, 120 different YouTube protesting channels, whether it's live streaming or otherwise. As we look forward, there's one person out in the hallway, but he's wearing construction gear, so he is most likely from the building that's being erected right behind Scientology. There's somebody else further up the street, but that's well past Scientology, so not exactly sure what's going on there. Yeah, that's awesome. So who's growing faster, the protest community or Scientology? And I'll even give you the protest community versus Scientology internationally, because even internationally, protesting is heating up, right? We've was it Scientology up north or something of that nature? The folks over in Denmark. I do plan on being there. I'm still trying to get more information from Nance on that. This is interesting. There is some construction equipment here outside the back of, oh, that's the college, sorry. So yeah, he was further down. Oh, sorry, I went past the trash cans and I didn't show the locks. So we've got the Scientology sticker there. Again, SPTV Foundation is still on the garbage can back there, so they haven't pulled that up. The locks are out here, but again, no real use for that. As we look in there, it's not shredded, but it's not paperwork that I'm seeing in there. It looks like packing material. Like the fluffy white stuff that would, if you didn't fill up your box with books, you'd want that sponge buffer there. So that's what that paper looked like. Here again, back doors of Scientology. So there's a garage down here underneath the college. That's the first time I've seen that garage down there. 100%. If you have taken a look at the merch, are there any shirts that look appealing to you? Are there any ideas you have? Hey, maybe if you just changed this, or if you did this. Do you like the coffee mugs? What other merch would you be interested in helping support the channel with? So we're up to Harrison. Coming back up on Clark. just to remind everybody, while it's kind of cute and fun for me to pull down the shades, that's not a trivial thing. This is a retail space, and my forcing them to bring the shades down makes them look very suspect to neighbors. Why are they hiding? Right? Now, we suspect the reason they hide is because they don't want people to see that when they look into their brand new ideal org, that there are two people on the floor. Right? They're a growing and expanding church, so they can't be seen as an empty shell of a building. But if you close up those windows, it really hampers their recruiting effort. Oh. So it's funny, the Portillo guy, he waved to me, but that was our body router inside of Dunkin. I'd be curious, you know what? I don't think the Portillo's guy is a Scientologist, naturally, because he's wearing a Portillo's shirt. So if he walks out, I'm going to maybe go find him and see if he wants to talk. Now, no idea what time it is right now. Tell you what, there's a truck behind me that's got its motor running. I don't know, the Cisco truck here. Can you guys hear that in the mic, or am I still in pretty good shape here? Because they do have music coming out of the door as well. Let me try to get closer to that. Yeah. They have music coming out of the door, but I can't hear that because the truck behind me. Great. Thank you, Thaddeus. Thank you, Twyla. And by the way, yes, I do plan on being there to help Nance, and I'm pretty comfortable that Juanita's going to be there and that Korn's going to be there. So here come the two ladies that walked past me when I first approached and was pulling down the shades. They've got their lunch. They're probably going to come back in. Yep, 100%. So, they walked across the street because they're going to head back over to Imprint so that they don't have to walk past me. Trying to see if I can see up the street there. They might have walked into Dunkin as well because, again, the other body router was there. Thank you, Luman. Remember from last night's interview, David was saying that, he made friends. He was only there for 8 months, and he made friends, and that was still a challenge for him when he left, that he had to break those friendships. And again, friendship, acquaintance, however you want to think about it. But there were people that he would have normal daily routine conversations with that he could no longer have conversations with. So inside, they're a normal working unit, right? That they converse with one another. Hey, last night I went to such and such to have dinner, or I saw movie X last night. And again, as long as movie X is tame enough and not going to get you audited, they'll talk about those types of things. So when we talk about the idea that they're stone-faced to me, who's probably an SP, right? I don't have goldenrod, but my expectation is they're not thrilled with me. While they won't talk to me, they'll definitely talk to others. When the Sakala boy was over on the other side, just a second. Fire truck just went by at the top of the street. When the Sakala boy was opening up the Flacco's Tacos door for the patrons that were coming out, they're incredibly cordial. They're very, very nice. They're very engaging. And they have to be. because they need to draw those people in. I'm not somebody that they want to spend time with or care or concern with. So yeah, they give me that stone-faced look of I'm a meanie criminal in that space, which I think is funny because it's on video so many times how unpleasant they can be. I think it's a terrible look for them. The other thing I thought was interesting was even in David's short time with the cult of Scientology, in his position in INCOM, he had keys to somewhat of an inner sanctum, not the full inner sanctum. So he wasn't buddy with L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron had passed by that point in time, but he wasn't buddy with the Guardians org and all of that. But there was a time that he recalled that the police were coming through the building looking for somebody who had done something, committed some criminal offense. And they were all told, because all the doors were pinned, so you had to use a punch number to open up the door. But even if they did punch in that number, everybody was kind of told to go stand behind the door and jimmy it closed, right? So that the police couldn't move throughout the building freely. And he didn't remember a lot of the names of some of those buildings. We were able to remind him of some of those names in there. But he did talk about the idea that you could get from building to building underground. They called it the hospital, which makes very good sense. Remember, that building, the Big Blue, was an old hospital. As a matter of fact, if you look it up on Google today, like Fountain in Hollywood, I think, it'll say that it's a hospital. It'll also say it's Scientology, but it'll say it's a hospital. Which I think is terrible, right? You never want somebody to mistakenly go there thinking that they're going to get medical help in that space. All right. As you all know, I get a little bit antsy and I don't like to just stand out in front here. Let me walk back up to the top of the street, just see if there's any activity in the alley. Also, my hope is that you appreciate the interviews, right? I mean, I know that I'm mostly out here protesting, but I want to spread my wings as much as possible and educate in as many ways as possible. Yep. So the Scientologist did come into Dunkin. Oh, it's not Portillo, it was Perillo, which is a car dealership here. So now that I've walked by, I'm sure they're going to come out and then they'll walk down the sidewalk. Perillo is a Cadillac dealership. They've got several different car brands. Yeah, so there go the Scientologist gals heading back to the org. I'm going to mute you for a second. We got a siren. I do not have a location. I don't think I even have a time. All I know is that it's Monday so far. Normally, I think it's Monday at 9 or Monday at 1 is going to be when those two dates are going to be set. I've set aside a lot of the time on Monday so that I can be over there and support her. I want to be able to also kind of play the role of Jacob Harkey and see if I can help broadcast what actions and events take place while we're there. So that was the second fire truck coming from the same house, which more often than not means that there's a real thing going on there. Boy, there's a lot of construction noise here. So they're cutting up the street at Harrison and Clark. A lot of times that's to replace a signal that might be underground there. Oh, but going back a bit, um, did we find value in the interviews? I like the conversation that I had with Declared Dave on Tuesday, I think it was. I need to do speed runs again. I'll tell you that that Sunday was very tough on me. On Sunday, when I had 9 hours of, or 8.5 hours of video, to edit that and find clips and all, it's a challenge. Pretty sure these are the guys that are working on the building behind Scientology. Yeah, and as I look down there, somebody's driving up the alley, but there's nobody in the alley right now. Yeah, I think that they're getting pressed to do more and more harm because it's escalating, right? That they thought the protesters would be here for a day and be done. Right? I think I'm still averaging 4 days a week here. You know, there have been times where I've been able to do every day. There's been escalation here, right? The Nance is an example of that. The police is an example of that with the chalk. Now, Chadwick's kind of a dirty SOB, in my opinion, because he'll try to come out and intimidate the female protesters. He's tried to deceive me once, but he just doesn't really come out and try to antagonize me or bullbait me anymore. The body router is still in, sitting down enjoying his Dunkin' Donuts. We're heading back to the cult, and the person that we saw down on Polk Street is coming back. So the staff member, right, that they go out for lunch. He's got 2 drinks. So again, just like anybody else's workplace, hey, I'm heading to restaurant X. Do you want anything? And yeah, sure, bring me back a soda, bring me back a tea, bring me back a coffee. So we're seeing that right now. The music is pretty, now with the truck gone, we're seeing that. We're hearing the music a little bit more clearly. Again, I don't think you guys hear the music at all. There's another door right here. That's right here. Anything positive to say about the church? We see the outstretched arm, but no face. So Perillo just walked out of Dunkin'. The cigarette down there is Perillo. And you can see in the all black is the body router. He's going to melt today when he's trying to get around me. Yeah, thanks, Sally. I appreciate it. That I think this mic is really what stops that from happening. Now, they're having a conversation and they're looking this direction. My expectation is that he's trying to say, hey, that guy's going to come up here and try to talk to you. Please don't. But we'll see. He does have flyers. He just tried to pass one out and the person said no. Not going to pass out flyers today? Not working for the cult, huh? Crushing your stats? Don't worry, everybody's stats are down. We just don't like human trafficking. If you guys stop the human trafficking, the child abuse, the adult abuse, we'd probably still be okay. Do you know who he is?
So, they reeled me in yesterday.
Yeah.
And had me watch the movie and all types of stuff. Well, I don't really know too much about it.
Okay.
It seems like you kind of know more than me.
I do. Are you okay being on film?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I don't care, bro.
All right. So, and this gentleman, he was saying that yesterday they kind of brought him in. Did they hand you out a flyer first?
Yeah.
Or yeah. And you get a free personality test, or did you just watch movies?
I did.
Okay. Please tell me you didn't give them your real name or address.
I did.
You're going to be emailed for the rest of your life.
Oh my
So,
god. So what is it? Like, what is it?
so they call themselves the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
And it was made up by the science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's really just a money scheme. So the personality test was free. And they probably showed you a graph at the end, and it said, hey, you've got a little problem here, whether it's anger or communication, depression, anything. I've got a book that'll help you. You want to buy this book?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yep.
And then the way they did it, though, it's like they didn't ask. It was just like, oh, so they put the book in my face. Oh, cash your card. I'm like, hold on, like, caught me way off guard. Like,
Absolutely. And it just keeps on escalating from there.
oh my god.
So, do you remember? You said you watched the movie. Do you remember? What do you remember about the movie that much?
I remember a lot about the movie. It was about how the book came about how apparently he was a doctor or something using Scientology to help make people feel better.
Right.
And at the time, it seemed interesting. I was into it, and yeah, that's basically all I remember really. And then they just started writing the book and sold the book.
Yeah. In the 50s, he kind of came up with these ideas about how to help fix mental issues right in the brain.
Yeah.
And he would kind of shop it around to psychiatrists and psychologists, and they all shot him down as this is bunk.
Yeah,
right? It's absolutely crap. And so from that point forward, he is anti-psychology and anti-psychiatry. So they won't let you, like if you have a mental problem, they won't let you go to a psychiatrist. They won't let you go to a psychologist. They won't let you get, that you need medicine to sometimes balance that.
Yeah, so I'm on antidepressants.
Yeah.
Yep.
They won't let you do that. You can't be on antidepressants and be a Scientologist.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
Antidepressants definitely helped me.
Right.
Yeah.
That idea that I've never been in that situation, but my understanding is that you probably return to a sense of normalcy when you're on it, right?
Yeah,
that idea
definitely.
that I'm not, the highs and lows, the swings are moving away.
Definitely. Yep.
There's a terrible story about a person named Lisa McPherson, and so Clearwater is one of their biggest bases. Hollywood and Clearwater are the two biggest places you'll see Scientology. They've got their organization down here as well.
Yeah.
She had a mental break. She had a car accident, minor car accident. She was mostly stripped down, bare naked, ranting a little bit. They took her to the hospital to do a psych evaluation. Scientologists found out where she was at. They came and they talked her into leaving against medical advice. And within 10 days, she was deceased. Because they tried to rush her to the hospital. There was a hospital that was really close by, but there's a Scientologist doctor at the faraway hospital. So they tried to go all the way to the faraway hospital, and she was declared DOA.
So why are they trying to push this so hard? Like
money, 100% money. So
that's
what?
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's happening? And I don't fault that guy. He was sold a bill of goods on this idea that we're here to save the world.
Yeah.
They have this very strange. It's called the Bridge to Total Freedom. And you keep on taking these audits and learning more, and you're going to save the world in regards to what's going on.
Okay.
When you get up to OT3, and I have no idea where he's at right now. Have you ever seen the South Park episode?
Of what?
So South Park did an episode on this. 76 million years ago, or trillion years ago, a guy named Xenu, he was part of this galactic federation, and he rounded up all of the bad people in this galactic federation, and he brought them to Earth, and he put them in volcanoes and put hydrogen bombs in there to blow it up.
Oh my god.
That's what they believe.
Oh my god.
Now, again, the thing is, they go in there when you went in there, you thought, this is interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very innocuous. Oh, wow, they're going to help me with a mental deficiency or a depressive deficiency or whatever the case may be. And it sounds really good at this low level. And then you just start getting reeled in a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yeah, it starts with the buying the book. And then after I bought the book, then they were talking about courses.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. I love cars. Man.
Nice.
But then they were talking about courses, trying to get me to spend another $50. I'm like, bro, that's gonna be $75 already spent on nothing. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And they're talking about like, well, I'm not gonna let you leave if you don't. Like, I was like, nah, I'm okay. Like, I was about to just walk up out of there.
It's huge high pressure sales. It's
Yeah.
like if you ever went to a timeshare, it's like trying to get out of a timeshare meeting,
Yeah.
and they just won't let you. And they'll start knocking down the price a little bit.
Yeah,
But,
I was
yeah,
definitely
those-
about to get up and just
Right.
walk out because I'm like, bro, you guys are trying a little bit too hard. Like,
Yeah. I love that. Really appreciate it. What else? So, were you only on the first floor?
No, they brought me upstairs and put me
Okay.
in his room to watch the movie. I was in there by myself.
Okay.
And then watched the movie. They came and got me and brought me downstairs, and then gave me like a happiness guide.
The way to happiness.
Yeah, and I was like watching some public service videos, and
Right.
then I did the graph, the test, the personality thing, and then they were trying to get me to buy the courses and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know right now. Probably good.
Now, so all of that, I don't even care about this idea that they have these courses. And if you want to believe in that, you can believe in that. You know, there are plenty of religions that are, you know, it's interesting what they believe in, and fine, you can believe in that. But it's the crimes that they commit. So you're going to watch that they have uniformed people that'll come in here, and they're older than my grandmother, and they come in, they get paid $50 a week, and they just write letters to everybody.
$50 a week is nothing. What
A
the
week.
heck? That's crazy.
Then so there's this elder abuse that you'll see them carrying heavy boxes. They'll be helping bring out the garbage at night. They have something called auditing, which is when you go on this course, they're going to audit you afterwards to see how much of it you absorbed.
That's what one of them was talking about. Oh, I was supposed to come in today for a free session, and they're like, oh, I want you to come in on Monday because there's an auditor I want you to meet.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now, what'll happen is sometimes these kids are 12, 13 years old. That auditor has to stay in the room. And what they're really doing is trying to figure out any of your, they call them ruins. So what flaws do you have? What flaws will you confess to in this room? And then as you confess to these flaws, two things happen. They've got a solution for it. And if you ever try to leave, they're going to use those flaws as blackmail.
That's what they're doing. They're like, because on my graph it was depression, which I think is accurate because I'm on antidepressants. And then when she is like, oh, I won't let you leave, she's like, this is why she's pointing at the graph. Like, this is gonna prevent you from coming back. So I can't let you leave. I'm like I'll come back. Like, if I want to come back, I'll come back. If I don't, I don't. Like, it's up to me. Like, they're trying to peer pressure me or something.
100%.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's okay.
What are some other? So these children that are auditing, they're not allowed to leave that room. Once you go into an audit, that door's closed until the session's done. Now, a lot of people in Scientology, they have very perverse desires. This person has to listen to that. So they have to talk about the sexual fantasies. They have to listen to all of the perverse things that this Scientologist has.
So what if I go there and I just play with them?
You can.
I'll do that. I'll just play with them.
I will tell you, they watch this video, it's going to be hard for you to get back in those doors.
That's cool, man. There's this one really beautiful girl.
Yeah, Jessica?
Yeah, that's exactly who I am.
So do you ever wonder why they have pretty girls in there?
Now I know why, because they definitely got me.
Yep.
Yeah, she just texting me to come to these events and stuff. I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going today.
And again,
yesterday too, I showed my mom. I was like, "Oh, I bought this book, thinking it was a good thing." She's like, "I heard like bad things about this," and I just immediately felt guilty. So I don't care if they let me back in there or not.
I'm a fan of your mom.
Yeah, thanks. Me too.
It's financial ruin, and then there's this idea that they'll kind of cause you to separate. They strip identity. So this idea that they want you to feel part of the group, and without the group, you don't exist anymore. That's another one of their tactics. So this idea that you'll feel uncomfortable leaving them.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool by myself. I be alone most of the time. I don't need a group.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lone wolf out here. Man.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
And then I don't know your beliefs, but I don't really believe in religion like that. So when they said church, I was like, man, it's already, you guys are not talking my language right now. Like, yeah, it's just not my cup of tea.
Right. Now there are people that are called independent Scientologists, and they'll just go through the technology stuff, the courses. They've taken the courses. They'll charge less than what'll happen here. And there are people that they believe in this stuff, and again, that's fine. There are people that believe in Christianity and in Islam, right? And that's if you're an adult and you have a belief of that nature,
you have every right to
don't
believe
care.
in it.
Absolutely. So cool.
For me, yeah, I just man, I've been doing good on my own without anything like this with my antidepressants. Man, let me tell you, like from the day I started taking my antidepressants to now, man, I've improved a lot.
That is great to hear. I love hearing that. And I mean, that's a story that I wish that we could tell inside the church, because there are people in there that are struggling because they have something on the syndrome or on the spectrum of what you were talking about, but they're not allowed to solve for that problem with medicine.
I thought I was going to be stuck in that dark space for a long time, and I was against taking medications and stuff, but I have like a couple friends who used to take antidepressants, and they're like, bro, just do it. So I started taking them, and I went from like having suicidal thoughts and being in and out of hospitals to, you see me, I'm out here walking, enjoying the day, getting my coffee. And
nice.
I was just talking to the person who manages my prescription about lowering my dosage to get off of it. I'm feeling good. So I don't need nothing interfering or conflicting with any
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely hope you get more healthy. Love it.
What's your name again?
My name is Windy City Phaeton Watch. I'm Paul.
Paul, Windy City.
Windy City Phaeton Watch.
Phaeton Watch.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Where can I find
So it is Windy City Phaeton Watch. Do you have a phone with you?
Yeah, I do.
Let me kind of bring up my channel real quick. So if you can just take a picture of that, or if you,
I got the YouTube app right
nice.
Here. Okay, cool. I'll subscribe right now. You seem like a pretty
I love
cool
it.
dude.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Here's your friend Jessica.
Hi. What's Thetan?
So Thetan, remember I told you they rounded up these evil spirits and put them in a volcano?
Yeah.
Their belief is they're called Thetans.
Oh.
So these eternal spirits. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Love it.
Hey, you got some motion on here. 1,000? Okay. When did you start?
Month and a half ago.
Okay, dang,
So,
keep it up. That's good for a month. I tried YouTube, like doing like some fashion stuff, fitness stuff. But I was getting some traction, but I just lost motivation. Yeah. But you're doing good.
Stay with it.
Yeah, you're doing
I'm telling
good.
you, just stay with it.
Do you know there's this guy that goes around Chicago? He just does like history. It's called Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes, I have heard him, and I love that. And that's, I have two channels. My other channel is I just go ahead and do tours of Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were doing at first. So I was like, man, let me get in there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, love the chat. Thank you so much.
It's nice meeting you, Paul.
Stay safe.
You too.
All right, folks. As you can imagine, I haven't really been paying attention to chat right now, but I loved that conversation. So we still got we got music going, and the shades are still down. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to run through some of these comments. Thank you, Lulaman. And yes, remember, it's that easy to leave. Anything positive to say about the church? Nice. I hope you don't go, Johnny. Hey, Susan. %. Yeah, I think that he's got a good head on his shoulders right now. And I love the idea that he's taking the medical advice to keep his mental space correct, right? And it does take that. And I also want to say that I love that it used to be such a shameful stigma to have a mental problem, and that the world's getting so much nicer about that. And the idea that, hey, we want people to be fixed, right? Or to be healthy. Yeah. Love that. All right. Now, because I was looking away from the door, the body router might have headed out. So if you don't mind, let's walk a little bit. And by the way, I'm counting that as a got him. I'm turning off the other mic real quick. Yeah, I worry sometimes because I know that I'm going to make mistakes in here, but I love that the chat and the community have been so helpful in reminding me of, no, it's not that, it's this, right? And I appreciate that. And I'm okay making mistakes. My hope is that as you watch me today and you watched me a month and a half ago, I hope that you think that I have much more credibility today than I did back then. I definitely feel like I have more confidence. I love that we're able to stop these people from doing anything. She's giving me a wide berth. Yeah, it's another one of those things where I think to myself, they don't know how big my audience, well, Osa knows how big the audience is. Hi, Osa. But for the most part, if you ever see them, sorry about that, if you ever see them out here walking around, there's an email on that site. Let me know. I can be here really, really fast.
I got you, man.
Nice. I love that. Thank you.
You respond quick?
I do.
All right, I got you.
Just want to see if he kept going south or if he walked back into the org. They usually give up pretty easily when I'm around. Now they'll try to walk out the other doors to stay out of my line of sight. So what just happened there, there's the shirt in the merch shop that's got the hand on the front, and on the back it says "Stop Scientology Recruiting." That's so much my objective is here. I still want to do the interviews like we did yesterday with David. I want to talk to Vanessa. So Vanessa already did the interview yesterday, but I'd still love to keep on broadening her platform so that she can share what her experience was. Yeah, I definitely felt that he was engaged that whole time. And, I want to say, I really appreciate you as a community that you allow me to stay present on the street. And, I don't have to be in the chat that entire time. I think it's much more important that I'm having the conversation with the person on the street than it is for me to make sure that I'm monitoring chat. So thank you, Sally Boyer. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Fuzzy, for making sure that chat stays tame and I can stay present on the street.
So now we need to go to the cheap room.
I just looked down Dearborn on this side of the street as well. It was funny. So the woman that just walked out said, let's go to the cheap grocery. This Tato's, it's a great place, but everything is hand curated and it's top dollar stuff when you go in there. Most of the stuff is handmade and it's the most expensive brands of whatever you can get. But it's worth the value in many of those situations. But yeah, you can go broke in that store really quick. Folks, I'm going to ask you all to put in a little hand clap for all the mods. They get nothing out of this. They do it for free because they believe in the movement just as much as the creators do. Boy, there are some big helicopters coming over. Is the president in town today? Yeah, not sure, but those definitely were military. I also want to say thank you. There's a number of you in the chat who support me in more private ways that rather than membership, you're using the PayPal or the Venmo, and I really appreciate that. This month was a little bit expensive. We had the body cam purchase, and I had to get an additional phone after they doxed me. So it really helps out. The channel memberships are not overly expensive, and they give you access to the icons or the emojis. As I've said before, my goal in membership isn't to create delayed or restricted content. It's mostly just a way so that you can publicly and anonymous to me support the channel. Thank you, Thaddeus. Depending on which app you have, in your typing, where you type in your message, to the right, there might be a smiley face. And if there is, if you tap on that, you'll get both the locked emojis and the free available emojis. I'll say it again. Without people viewing, I wouldn't understand if this was valuable. So just viewing, and I know some of you are, resource constrained, that, yeah, you can't help me financially, but being here, helping with the watch hours, helping with the likes, helping share and distribute this message so that we just hit the widest audience possible. I hope that you've seen in some of our past videos, we all think that everybody knows about Scientology. They really don't, right? That person, right, 2 days ago had no understanding of what Scientology was. So never assume that we're safe because everybody's smart enough to know what Scientology is. David's story yesterday, right? David's not an unintelligent person. He tests very high. He just had different goals in life than, university status. But he is an incredibly good business person. One of the things you'll see, if you ever go over to his channel and listen to any of his long form videos, you want to look at the one that how he escaped Mexico and how he escaped the mob. Those are great chats. And again, it just wasn't content for our channel, but I did think it was good backstory to our conversation yesterday. One of the things that he has always done is if he sees a business, he'll write up a business plan and just give it to the business owner. And that's what he did with his friend and partner, Alex. So he and Alex, who run the school and Casino Quest, he started there just because he wanted to refresh his dealing skills, and really liked the environment, and said, hey, I want to be a part of this. And he really helped write up a more solid business plan for Alex to execute. And he and Alex are just doing phenomenally right now. Right? Yeah. Now, I think the new statement is going to be which Chadwick. I think there's 3 Chadwicks here, and there's a Chadwick who's an ED of one of the other. It might be St. Louis. I'm not positive, but it must be that there's a really short list of names that you name your Scientology boy, and Chadwick's got to be really high on that list. So folks, one of the reasons that I kind of take this walk is I'm trying to figure out if I can spot them, but I get really amped when I'm able to engage somebody like that, and I feel good about what I'm doing out here. And part of this walking around is really to kind of just chill, calm down. This is one of my favorite barbershops. I love coming here. Every once in a while I'll have them shave my head. It's just a neat place. Sitting in that open chair, watching the street go by, having a chit chat with the bar. I'm a dinosaur. I always say it's a barber. I'm sure that they're a hairstylist. In my space, as many of you know, I'm follically challenged. So my hairstyling has been the same for 40 years. All right, we're heading back. I'm going to zigzag on the way back just in case OSA's watching and they sent the body router out. So I'll go up to Harrison and look down Harrison, but I'm going to walk down State Street to Polk. Yeah, we're really not seeing anything out here. It's 12:09. Body router in the wild. So she just came up the red line. This is the one that, 2 days ago? Don't follow me. So for those of you that think that Chicago is a backwater to Scientology, they're aggressive in their recruiting, right? Make no mistake, they want to make a mark here. And again, this is one of those reasons why I'm out here wandering the neighborhood and not standing in front of the church the whole time. So we're heading down State Street to Polk, and we'll cut back over towards the org on Polk. It is that is part of the story, and I'll say that's the belief, and at its highest element, the philosophical statement that they'll make is they're trying to clear the planet because we are prisoners. We're not only aliens, we're prisoners, and we're stuck in a cycle like the Matrix. So every time we die, we get our brains reset. Everything we learned is forgotten. We come back and we just go through the whole thing again. And what L. Ron Hubbard claims is that he wants to clear the planet. So he wants to get it to the point where we become operating thetans. And as we become operating thetans, we're smart enough to bypass the reset station upon death. So when we come back to life, we have total recollection of our past life. Similar to the Buddhist reincarnation. And one thing I want to remind you all is, in reincarnation, that's a penalty. Reincarnation is not a benefit to life. The Buddhists think that reincarnation is the hell, right? Damn it, I have to do this again. Now, I'm going to tell you that that's the way that they're going to portray themselves. But at the end of the day, it's just a money-grabbing scam. That if you were here earlier, you would have heard the interview that I had with an unsuspecting person on the street. They gave him a flyer yesterday, brought him in. They realized that he had a little bit of depression, and they said, "Oh, cool." And did you hear what he said? He didn't say, "Do you want to buy a book?" It was, "Do you want to pay cash or credit for this?" So they were going to sell. They've already made the decision. You're going to buy the book. We just want to know how you're going to buy it. I've run several businesses, and one of the earliest businesses, I was maybe 19 years old, was a pizza business. And the owner of it would go out with me, and he would give me all of these sales tricks. And he would say, people's mistake is, would you like something to drink with that? And you're letting the customer make up the decision there. What you want to tell them is, do you want Coke or Diet Coke? So you've already made up the decision, you're getting a drink. You just now have to make a choice of which drink do you want. And that's the high pressure tactics or the manipulative mechanism that they're able to use in this organization. So in order for him to have walked out, and he said it was very stressful to him walk out because they kept on saying, well, you got to buy this or you got to buy that. In order for him to walk out, they wanted him to buy something. And he talked about courses as well. So it's books and courses. Once you buy this book and you finish it, they're going to say, okay, great. Well, here's the next book you should buy. And in the courses, the exact same thing. So you finish course A, and usually before they let you leave the org that day, they need to sign you up for the next course. So if we think about this, it's a money scheme. It's not a church in any way, shape, or form. With the exception of the space opera of Xenu and the Thetans, anything that you're learning in L. Ron Hubbard's teachings were things that he gleaned from other authors and religions. The way to happiness is basically the golden rule, right? And the golden rule is forever old. Yep, 100% Sally. Howdy, Jurgen. Welcome back. So a little recap of our day so far. I started a little ways away from the org, and we intercepted 3 or 4 different members. We got to the org, and we were able to get the shades down. We walked around back, nothing going on there. When I walked around the front, remember on the street there's a Dunkin' Donuts, a Subway, Pat's Pizza, Paisan's Pizza. We saw the body router and just another person in the Dunkin' Donuts. Eventually, the body router came out. He tried to hand off a flyer. The person didn't want it, so I didn't have to really do anything. He then walked back. He saw I was going to follow him. He then walked past me and back to the org. But I was able to talk to the person that he was talking to inside of Dunkin' Donuts and explain to him what Scientology was all about. He had gotten a flyer yesterday, and he went indoors and he saw a movie. He did buy a book. He bought Dianetics. They also wanted to try and put him on a course right away. He took the personality test. So yeah, I do hear different messages in that scenario in a few ways. Like you couldn't go clear, right, if you were on meds, but we'll let you spend money. We have no issue charging you money for services if you've got drugs and meds. Yeah, they're going to last longer than all of us. wonder if the dust mites have thetans as well. Just coming out to the alley, there's nothing really going on here. Remember that there's some construction going up at the Columbia College, which is 2 doors north of the Scientology rear entrance. So we'll head back around front. If you ever, and again, I'm not going to try to state the facts because I'll be way off, but there are stupid numbers that if you weighed up the weight of every human on the planet and weighed up the weight of every dust mite on the planet, we would be crushed. I think ants might be the biggest biomass. It's just goofy stuff like that, where we think we're king of the world or queen of the world. Gotcha. Thank you, Ms. Bramlett. Another woman in black up there heading into the org. Boy, that's just got to be miserable on a day like today. And it's from here on to the end of the summer, it's just going to get hotter and hotter. Got the shades up again. We've got Anastasia there at the front. Here she comes. Somebody over here in the cafeteria is about to walk out, so I'll see if I can engage them. I'm yawning for. Get that half-tone scale up. We've got the woman that came up off the subway. She's the one up here at the top of the street walking down. Sally's out there saving lives every day. So she's heading into the Dunkin. Gonna stop on the way. Yeah, and if you can suppress your gay and marry somebody who doesn't really appeal to you, then you can stay in too, right? Nora knew much longer than, or well before she was able to say it, what her natural tendencies were. But hey, in order to stay in the church, let's go ahead and get married. Yep. Now she'll probably come back out. Now I don't know. Yep. Yeah, she's gonna bring the speaker out. Oh, they've now got a dial in there to show that. Hi, Anastasia. Everybody give Anastasia a wave. She brings her little Bluetooth box out. I'm gonna walk up to the top of the street, see who else is in some of these retail spaces. For those of you that aren't really aware, right, you've got Columbia College right next door to the cult. don't feel so safe that no college student would ever join. At the beginning, we saw 2 women walk past the door. One of those was Izzy Bahar Evans, something like that, or Bahari Evans. She is a student at Columbia and a staff member. If you go back through the videos, there's a video that has the word Columbia and recruiting in the title, and you're going to see 10 or so college-age people walk up to the dorm as I arrive. Chadwick tries to lure me away so that I won't follow them. But just after I realized that was a ploy, I'm sorry, 3 college students walked out of the org and right back into Columbia College, and they swiped in themselves. So they were students, right? Don't feel so confident that there are no students. There 100% are, and they are aggressive in their recruiting tactics. I have a client meeting in about 30 minutes, so we'll see how much more we can thwart the efforts of the cult. Yeah, Amy, I had a conversation 3 weeks ago. Again, there's an awful lot. It's blending together. A lot of this stuff is blending together with a father. He was here to have dinner with his son. And he had kind of said, hey, the college students are getting a little tired of you guys being here. We all got letters from the dean of students saying they would never let the church in their building. And I showed him the pictures of the students going in, and he was gobsmacked. He was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And I think it changed his mind on the idea that we're not here to harass the students, right? And I understand it's tough on the students. They do have to live their life under a camera because they live next door to the cult of Scientology. But I think that he kind of turned the corner, and he thinks it is important for us to be out here protesting this cult. Yeah, it's funny what they will spend money on and what they won't spend money on. Yeah, Sally, if you're in there, right, you've got the squirrel with the braziers. Let's not forget that we need to be in support of Nance on Monday. If you can, go over to Nance Drew's page on her community page. I don't know if it's still a top comment, but she has a post with all of her financial links because she has to pay lawyers in order to help solve the legal situation that she's in. Right? There was an illegal arrest, but even in the not guilty space, you've still got to pay a lawyer, and there are legal fees to go through that. So anything you can do to help would be most appreciated. Because it's Monday, what I'd really encourage you to do is try to use her financial links, because she can get that money immediately, and YouTube doesn't take the 30% cut in that space, right? So all of the monies that YouTube is giving us, they have a 30% tax, but what's worse in this particular situation is that it's at least a 30-day delay before you get paid. And since she hasn't ever received money from YouTube, it's usually a little bit longer that first time. Yep. And just to let you know, I will be here tomorrow, which was the original date for Joe Sakala and Crystal Ehrlich. And it's either they're renewing their vows or getting married. For those of you that are stuck on that detail, I don't care whether or not they're getting married for the first time or renewing their vows. It is an opportunity for us to address an awful lot of publics at the org. So
right.
Right after we announced that that was happening, all of a sudden the Knots changed the wedding dates to the 25th. And that might have been a tactic to get us comfortable with the idea that it's going to be on the 25th. So I think it's important that if you're in or near Chicago, that we come out tomorrow on the 18th, just in case they're going to have a high number of publics and staff members here in that space. Thank you, Cubs. Doing a great job. Are you only Boston, or are you traveling and we just tend to see you in Boston? All right, folks, I kind of have to pack it up. I've got a client meeting. If we can, I'm going to ask the mods to look for a live chat that we can all go raid. I felt like it was a great day. I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for the support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. Remember, subscribing is free. Thank you, Marina. Hopefully we see you out here soon. Something that I have mentioned before, you don't need to stream to come out here. If you just hold your phone up, it's enough to scare them. And it's very helpful to me. If there are people near the entrance to the org, I can slide around back and not have to worry about people sneaking out the front. Or I can go and walk the neighborhood, and you can remind me, or you can email me or chat me, or we'll work through the YouTube chats to let me know that, right? Right now we are under the metro tracks coming out of the LaSalle Street station. These all head south. Now, once they go south, they can continue on south, or they can head west. All right. Nice. Excellent dual purpose use. Love it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's right. We saw the California orgs last month when I was out there for a conference. We were able to go to Las Gatos, which I earned my first trespass warning over at Las Gatos. And then we went to Silicon Valley. All right, let's go find MD Media. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you soon. Make sure you've got that bell on for notifications. As you can tell, I go live at random times. Take care, everybody.